welcome today. My name's Eric. As always, I want to thank you for coming by and checking out my video today. On this episode of Smo'King, I'm going to show you how to make 3-meat smoked chili. Now today is Super Bowl Sunday, so I thought I'd get a nice, delicious pot of chili going. And this is super easy, guys. You can use whatever meat you want, but I like using at least 2 to 3 different kinds of meat to give it a little bit of a texture. So I have a pound of ground beef, a pound of ground turkey, a pound of ground pork. You can use brisket, you can use chuck roast, you can use just about anything you like, spicy Italian sausage, sweet Italian sausage. The key here is just to mix these ingredients together. And not very difficult. Most of this stuff you can buy in a can in the grocery store. You know, the hardest part is pretty much chopping up the green peppers, the onions. I got a couple of jalapenos I'm going to be chopping up as well. And we got some tomatoes, some beans. If you don't like beans, I know there's a controversy out there whether or not chili is supposed to have beans. Don't put beans in it, you know. It's very subjective to your own taste and what you like. But I'm going to show you the way I like it, and then you can modify the recipe from there. So stick around, guys. I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. Let's get cooking. Alright guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is combine all the 3 meats. So I have a little bit more of pork than anything else because it came in this like I think it's 1.5 pounds of pork. So we're going to start with that. Now like I mentioned before, you can use sweet Italian sausage, hot Italian sausage, whatever you like. I have 1 pound of ground turkey. And then of course, 1 pound of ground beef, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just season it very slightly here. Not a whole lot of salt, just a little bit, because a lot of these other ingredients have salt. And we can always add a little bit more at the end. So just a little sprinkling of some kosher salt. We're going to top that off with a little bit of ground black pepper. Just like so. And then I'm going to finish it off with a little bit of smoked paprika. That's going to give it a nice color and a little bit of smoky flavor. Alright guys, so just like that. Now I'm going to go grab a pair of gloves because we're going to mix this together. Be back in a second. Guys, I got some inexpensive gloves here. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to combine all this meat together. Now we don't want to overmix this, but we do want to incorporate everything together, okay? And then what I'm going to do, once I have this incorporated well, is I'm going to form it into a loaf. And this loaf is going to go on my smoker so it can absorb some smoke. I'm also going to cut up a couple jalapenos, a couple onions, a couple green peppers, and we're going to put that on my smoker as well and kind of keep it on there probably for a couple hours to get a nice smoky flavor. So let me mix this together, guys. I'll be back in a minute, kind of show you how it looks like. Alright guys, so what I did is I just made it into a big patty here, okay? Because I'm going to put this on my smoker. And if you can make it big as possible, that way there's more surface area for the smoke to adhere to. So just kind of push it down. It's kind of like a gigantic 3-pound burger patty. Shaped a little bit like a football. So what I'm going to do now is I have this rack here. And I'm going to put it on the rack very carefully. And since I've just been mixing this, it's kind of almost the point where it's kind of falling apart. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stick this in my freezer while I cut up the vegetables. So it's probably going to take me 20 minutes or so to cut up the onions, the green peppers, and the jalapenos. And 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, even a half hour in the freezer. Isn't going to freeze this, but it's going to get it a little bit more firm. And of course, it's going to be colder. That means it's going to be able to absorb more smoke in your smoker. Okay, so I'm just going to go throw that in the freezer, guys. I'm going to chop up the vegetables. I'll be back and show you the next step. Alright guys, so I have 2 medium onions diced up. I have 2 green peppers diced up, and 2 jalapeno peppers diced up and deseeded. If you want it spicy, keep some seeds in. I want my whole family to enjoy that this dish, so I deseeded them all. You can always add a little bit of hot sauce or red pepper flakes into your individual bowls as well if you want to kick up the heat a little bit. All right, I'm going to mix this together. Be back in a second. All right, guys, I forgot to push the record button, but I'll tell you what I did. I put the onion, the green pepper, and the jalapeno in here. I drizzled it with a little bit of olive oil, and then I put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. We're going to mix this together just like that. Nothing very complicated. Just like that. So what I'm going to go do now is fire up my pellet smoker. You can smoke this on any kind of smoker you have. I'm using a pellet smoker just because it's easier for me today. And the only purpose here is to add some smoke, kind of have these peppers and onions kind of soften down and add some smoke to that meat mixture. So I'll fire up my pellet smoker and I'll meet you guys outside when we're ready to put everything on. Alright guys, so I have my pellet smoker fired up on the smoke setting, okay, because that gives a little bit more smoke. I'm probably going to crank it up a little bit later on. So I'm going to put the meat on top, and then this wonderful onion, green pepper, jalapeno mixture right underneath. I am going to put a temperature probe in just to kind of keep tabs on it. I'm not really concerned with cooking it because once I feel it's got enough smoke on it, we're going to transfer it into a Dutch oven, and I'm going to let it simmer for several hours on the stove. So if it's not completely cooked, it will be at that point. Let's just go right like that. It's such a thin piece there. Alright, and it's reading, let's see here. Temperature probe saying the meat is 47 degrees. There we go, guys. It's cold out here today. It's around 38 degrees, so it's hovering just above freezing. But that's fine. That'll probably mean I'll be able to keep this on a little longer than normal. Alright, guys. I'm going to let it go in the smoke setting probably for at least 45 minutes to an hour, and then I'll probably crank it up a little bit. You can see some smoke rolling now. We'll let it do its thing. Be back, guys. It's still in the smoke setting. It's reading 173 degrees. It's been around an hour and 20 minutes. Kind of got busy with some other stuff. Let's take a look here. Saying that 79 degrees is the temperature of the meat. Let's kind of take a look here. Well, it's looking good. Should have brought a spoon out here to kind of stir. And this is like warm. So you know what? I am going to crank this up to 350 just because I want to get some heavy duty heat on this and some smoke. Like I said, I'm not really concerned with heating it all the way. But yeah, let's crank this thing to 350. We got Super Bowl game in around 3.5 hours. 350 it is, guys. We'll give it a little bit more time. Be back shortly. Alright guys, we are approaching 2.5 hours. Bear in mind, the first hour and 15 minutes was on smoke setting. It's saying right now the meat is 124 degrees. So let's take a look here. Oh yeah. Definitely taking on some color. Let me pull this forward so you guys can see. Wow. Looking good. All right, let's see how the peppers and onions are coming. Yeah, you can see there, they're definitely getting some color. This is perfect, okay? I'm gonna turn my smoker off. I'm gonna take all this stuff inside. I'll meet you guys inside. We'll start putting all the ingredients together and start to simmer this chili. See you guys inside. guys, just wanted you to have a closer look once it's inside. I'm just letting it cool down a little bit. But you can see it's looking good. So bear in mind that beef looks kind of weird because we got turkey, pork, and ground beef. And then underneath, you can see all those onions, peppers, and jalapenos just kind of hanging out. So I'm just going to let this cool down for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back, get this chili put together. All right, guys, so I wanted you to see how this looks. You can see it's nice and brown. There's definitely some liquid here from that meat that was sweating down. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I have a 7-quart Dutch oven. Now you can cook this in an Instant Pot, in a slow cooker, in a Dutch oven. I mean, you name it. Put it just in a pot on the stovetop. So I'm going to put all this lovely stuff. We'll start off with that as our base. Alright, let me get this in here. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to shred that beef up. Get it a little mixed together. It's probably not fully cooked, but that's fine. It'll cook the rest of the way when it's simmering in the Dutch oven here. Alright guys, so there is the beef. 1 pound ground turkey, 1 pound ground beef, 1 pound ground pork, or a little over a pound. So let's just crack into this here. You can see a little bit of a smoke ring there. So all I'm going to do now, kind of use my hands since I put some gloves on. We're just going to break this up. It's definitely got a little bit of a crust. Yeah, look at this. Oh, it smells so good. And this is why I like using 3 different types of meat, because you're going to have different flavor profiles, you're going to have different textures, and different tastes. You can see there, you can see where the turkey is, you can see the pinkness of the pork, ground beef is kind of mixed in there as well. Alright, so let me just, give me a minute. I want to get this into small pieces before we add it to our Dutch oven. And then we're going to just basically throw in the other ingredients, guys. This was the longest time consuming part, was just smoking it. So, alright guys, give me a minute. I'll kind of show you what it looks like when we're all done. Alright, there we are. Shredded nicely. I'm going to go throw this in the Dutch oven, and then we'll assemble the other ingredients, guys. Alright guys, change of plans. That 7-quart Dutch oven just wasn't going to be enough room for all the other ingredients. So I got this big stock pot I've had forever. And you can see it's not even a quarter full with all the meat and the green peppers and onions. So let me get the other ingredients. We'll mix everything together and we'll put it on the stovetop. Bring it to a boil. Light simmer, and we'll let it cook for a couple hours. But there we go, guys. Man, look at it. It smells wonderful. Alright guys, so first thing I'm going to do is stir in the dry ingredients. So first I got around 6 cloves of minced garlic. Okay, I bought the stuff that's already kind of in the can. The fresh stuff is better, but I didn't have that on hand. Okay, now I got some chili powder, 4 tablespoons, and I'll leave all the measurements in the video description down below, so you don't feel like you have to grab a pen now, right now. You can look at it later. So 4 tablespoons of chili powder. We have some brown sugar. You can either use the light or the dark. I just had the light. That's 3 tablespoons. I got some cumin here. 4 teaspoons of cumin. That adds a delicious flavor to the chili. I have some oregano, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. And then I have 2 beef bouillon cubes. And before I stir this, normally I would put in 12 ounces of water, but I prefer a beer. Now you can use any kind of beer you like. The alcohol is going to burn out because it's going to be simmering so long. I should have picked up a stout or a porter, but I forgot all about it. So I'm using what I have on hand, which is a good old Pabst Blue Ribbon, 12 ounce. So we'll pour that in there, and I'm going to give it a good stir, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. There we go. And like I said, guys, make it your own. Don't feel like you have to stick exactly to my recipe. That's what's so cool about chili. We had a chili cook-off a little while back at my work, and it's amazing to taste all the different varieties of chili. Like I said, some people love beans. I like the beans in chili, you know, unless it's going on a chili dog or something, then you can do it without. Then it's more like a coney dog or something, but oh, it's already starting to smell good, man. Oh, look at that. All right, let me go get the cans of the rest of the ingredients. We'll mix it all together and then onto the stovetop. It's super simple, guys. Be back in a minute. All right, guys, and now for the rest of the ingredients. And like I mentioned before, I'll leave all the ingredients down below in the video description. I'm putting in 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste. This just gives a little bit of a thickness to it. It's always the hardest thing to get out of a can, so get a little spatula. Now we're going to add some diced tomatoes. It calls for 4 cans of diced tomatoes. I got one big one, which is like 2, and another one for 3. And then at the store I saw this, which was, it's called chili starter. And basically it's seasoned, crushed, and diced tomatoes, but it's also got a little bit of chili powder and chili flavor. So I thought that certainly wouldn't hurt. There we go. You can see how thick that is. And then, like I mentioned, I got 1 big can diced tomatoes. You can use the petite tomatoes, stewed tomatoes, whatever you like, whatever you got on hand. Doesn't matter. It's all going to be delicious. All right. Now this is kind of an optional thing. I like it. Some people don't. I got 2 7-ounce cans of diced green chilies. I think it has a great flavor. I put it in there with the juice and all. But again, if you don't like it, don't get it. You know, people put other stuff in chili too, like corn and stuff. That's really not my thing. But again, I'm not judging anybody. Do it the way you like it. All right. And now the last part is the beans, okay? If you don't like beans, skip this part. Stir it up, put it on the stovetop. So, I'm starting with 2 cans of the chili beans. And these I don't drain because they're in kind of a chili sauce. That's going to add some good liquid. Okay. 1 can. I'll put another can over here. Oh, this is starting to smell wonderful. All right, and now you can use either pinto beans or dark red kidney beans. I like a little bit of each, so I bought a can of each. But if you prefer one or the other, and I drained these. I mean, there's a little bit of liquid, but I drained them for the most part. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Now we just got to get busy trying to stir this a few minutes before we put it on the stovetop. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up to a little bit of a simmer here, and then I'm going to reduce the heat and put the cover on it and just let it go. I'll probably check it every 45 minutes or so. As this cooks, more liquid is going to be released, so it's going to get a little bit more watery. And then at the end, you can thicken it up with either mesa flour, or you can use some cornstarch and water just to thicken it up if you want it more thick. But I'm already liking the consistency of this, guys. Look at this. I mean, look at that. All right? So I'm going to go throw it on the stovetop. We're going to put it on a kind of medium-low heat. Wait till everything comes to a simmer. And then the cover on it down to a low simmer, and we are done. I'll meet you guys over at the stovetop. All right, guys, I have it on like a medium-low simmer. You see it's starting to, you can hear a little bit of a sizzling. Give Give it a good stir. Just gonna wait a little bit until I feel it's sufficiently heated, and then I'm gonna reduce it to a low simmer. We'll put the lid on it and we'll let it go for around an hour or so before we'll come take a look. But man, look at that, guys. So much better than something out of a can, or even, you know I've been guilty of this myself. You buy the little spiced chili packets and just add ground beef and some tomatoes, which, you know, in a pinch is good, but boy, when you could do it like this with the 3 meat and smoke it, oh, it's gonna add such a great flavor profile. All right, guys, drink review time. I'm having something different today. Labatt's Blue. This is a Canadian Pilsner beer. I used to drink this back in the college days. It's kind of like Canadians' version of a light beer. And I only bought it because it was on sale. They had a $5 rebate. So that's what I'm having. And this is my son, Kyle.
Hello.
And Kyle, he's going to do something very risky. He's trying jalapeno pepper soda. It says, warning, this soda is very hot. Your mouth may catch fire. Drink at your own risk. But then it's got the heat level there, and it shows it's not even that hot. So maybe they're just playing word games. From Rocket Fizz. We've had a couple sodas from them. So that's what Kyle's having.
I used to drink these all the time in college.
Yeah. Is that a twist off, or do you need a...
That should be fine.
Let's see.
I always go like this, and it usually comes off.
No, sometimes.
Because like we put
No,
pressure
that's not
on
a
top.
twist off. Alright. There you go. And my Labatt's, I think is how you pronounce Labatt's. Alright.
Has an interesting smell to it.
I can smell anything. You see, guys, very light. So it's 4.7% alcohol. So I would compare it to your typical American beer, Miller, Coors, Budweiser, whatever. But the Canadian beers typically have a little bit more flavor, at least in my eyes. You can see, very light, lightly carbonated, nice little head, nothing too crazy. Smells like a little bit of beer. All right.
Makes you want to sneeze.
I don't smell anything.
Huh.
Again, guys, thanks for stopping by. We're gonna have some delicious smoked 3 meat chili shortly. All right, let's give it a sample. Be careful. Yeah, just a good old drinkable beer. Nothing too fancy, just what it is. It's got a little bit more flavor, I think, than the American standards, Bud, Miller, Coors, in my opinion. Still very light. It's kind of like a Wisconsin style Pilsner. But I like it. I'm going to enjoy it. All right, Cal, what do you think? Is it super hot?
It's not really hot to me. It doesn't even taste like jalapenos. To me, it tastes like... It's kind of sour. It's like, it tastes like lemon like lime juice.
Yeah, I doubt that they would really put jalapenos in this.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even taste like a jalapeno. Like, it's not... It tastes to me like a lemon lime-ish juice.
Spring water, sugar, citric acid, red pepper extract. Okay. Natural and artificial flavors. And some food coloring. So red pepper extract. So it might have does it have a little bit of heat?
Not really heat, it just it tastes sour.
Okay. Is that something you would drink, like, instead of like a Mountain Dew or something? Or?
No, I'm not really a big fan of this one because it's just it's like bitter.
It's more of a gimmicky thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. The game just started. I was going to have it on my TV right here in the back, but last time I did that, I got copyrighted. So I had to go in and blank the screen out, cover the screen, so I thought I'd just avoid the hassle. So anyway, Super Bowl just started. Chili is simmering. I'm going to enjoy a couple beers, watch the game. Maybe at halftime we'll go up, stir the chili, take a look at it. We'll be back in a little bit, guys. Thanks again. Cheers to our viewers. Cheers, Kyle. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Hi guys, it's been around an hour and a half now. I've been up here a few times to stir it, like maybe at the 45-minute and around at the hour and 10-minute. But just to show you here, you can definitely tell it's got more liquid, which is what I suspected. But then you stir it. Yeah, everything's simmering nicely. So what we're gonna do now is just continue to let it go. I got it on the lowest possible setting on my gas stove. But look at this, man. Wow. This is gonna be really good. So I might try to thicken it up. And you can use a slurry of flour and water, or cornstarch and water, or mesa flour. You just mix a little bit in a bowl with some water, and you mix it in and it thickens it up. Although after I stir it, it doesn't look too bad. But in any case, we'll let it go another half hour, 45 minutes. We'll dish it out, get the family out here. Serve it with some, put some sharp cheddar cheese on top, some sour cream. If you like it hot and spicy, sprinkle some hot sauce or red pepper flakes. Yeah, you're in business, guys. All right, be back shortly. All right, guys, we're at around 2 hours and I'm getting hungry. And here we are. Look at that. Simmering nicely. I'm gonna turn it off right now, because it's warm enough. Oh, look at this. Man, oh man. Alright guys, here we are. Look at this delicious chili. We're gonna scoop out. Ooh, steaming up the lens here. We're gonna do little sample bowls here. Okay. Just for a taste review here. We'll make up our normal bowls here for dinner later, but boy.
This is...
We didn't even thicken this up, put any kind of flour or anything. I think it's fine. There we go, guys. We'll put a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese on top. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Oh, come on. We like cheese there.
You like cheese? Okay, a little more. All right. And then Monica's favorite word, did I say? Is dollop.
A dollop.
A dollop of sour cream.
Now you say a dollop.
Dollop. Put a dollop of sour cream on each
That's okay.
one.
I've been married to you 20 years now.
Just right in the center.
I know a dollop.
You know a dollop?
I know a dollop.
Okay, let's do a dollop.
Let's do a dollop.
All right.
Dollop.
There you go. 1 dollop. Oh, 2 dollops. Oh, that one.
That's okay.
Misguided dollop.
I'm sorry. I was just trying. It was kind of. We just opened it, so.
All right, guys, we'll be back to give this a sample in just a second.
All right.
Welcome back, guys. I'm here with my wife Monica, my son
Hi.
Kyle.
Hello.
We dished some out with some cheese and sour cream. Okay, ooh, it's hot.
And I'm leaving mine on. Yeah, it's hot.
All right, I'll hold it like this. All right, let's give it a sample. I really want to know if you guys can taste the smoke flavor on the meat.
Okay, I'll get a bite of meat here. Here we go. Oh, it's cheesy.
Oh, I can. I think I had a little bit of turkey and pork right in that
It
bite.
tastes meat.
So Kyle,
I can smell the smoke.
I put beef, ground turkey, and ground pork in
Yeah.
this. So it's a 3-meat chili here. And then I smoked the vegetables too with the meat. So guys, so much better than that pre-packaged spice packet or even chili in a can. Forget about that.
Oh yeah.
And if you have the ability to put it on the smoker like I did, man, it adds a delicious flavor. Can you taste it?
Definitely.
Again, I think our family is immune to the smoke flavor.
I know.
because We've tasted so much smoke flavor. I mean, it's almost, we can't even, almost taste it anymore.
I absolutely love it when you come in smelling smoky. It's like my favorite.
No, it's true. A lot of times I'm smoking outside and like the next
oh,
day,
honey.
I'll be in the shower washing my hair and it's just like, whoo, smoke. Because I'm like, my body is just soaked in smoke.
But I love it.
As always, guys, I appreciate you stopping by and watching my video. If you like it, please hit the like button. I'll leave a link below to my website as well, ericsmokingbbq.com. That's where I have all my recipes, photos, video links, the whole bit.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, and definitely try out this recipe if you like chili, especially if you have the ability to smoke it. If not, you can cook it without smoking it. It's still going to be delicious.
Yeah.
Right? What
No,
did you say?
for sure. That's how you did it before you started smoking, really. Back in the day.
Oh, back in the day before.
Way back when we first were dating and first married. I mean,
Yeah.
you weren't smoking.
I
yet.
would just cook chili in a slow
and
cooker.
it was good enough that people were begging him to join the chili cook-off. So.
Yeah, well, this is pretty much the same recipe, but
It's
I
really
just
good.
smoked the meat and
try meat.
and the vegetables. Yeah,
And you did 3 kinds of meat.
turkey, pork, and beef.
It's really good. Definitely it's worth it to do that.
My favorite 3 meats.
Yes.
Again, guys, thanks for stopping by. Hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel. It's a button on the bottom, like the logo on my shirt. And we'll see you next time.